What's going on YouTube? Mike here, back again with the 10th video in 5-Step Forex, a free Smart Money Concepts Forex trading course. And today we're actually going to be talking about step number 5, which is targets and your take profit levels. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and stay all the way to the end so that you can learn how to actually place a take profit or what to target after you enter a trade using Smart Money Concepts. So before we get on with the slides, I always use lesson number 1 with a PowerPoint presentation, and then lesson number 2 on a topic as an actual walkthrough on a live chart. So this is lesson number 1 in step number 5, and we're going to actually do a PowerPoint overview of the topic before we apply it to a chart. Before we get started, make sure you check out 5stepforex.com and also renegadeforex.com for some other free resources. And be sure to check the links in the description below. I do have a full in-depth course that's a paid version that elaborates on all of the topics that we're talking about here, as well as many other products and things that I recommend to any trader. So be sure to check all that stuff out. And let's go ahead and get started with the video. So a target is basically where you set your take profit on your broker. And this is part of our trade management plan and how we can actually, know how long to hold a trade or at what point to close it or close a partial. And we're going to talk about all that today. That all falls under trade management and managing trades. And so by the end of this video, you should understand that. You should also understand where to place your take profit and partialing versus closing full volume. And so remember, as always, this entire course applies to any time frame in any chart. It does not matter if you trade stocks, indices, Forex, futures, anything like that, commodities, it doesn't matter. It is all the same thing. I know there's going to be a lot of questions from viewers over the time of this course being up on YouTube. I just want to make that very clear that it does not matter. It literally, the same thing is happening on a 1-minute chart as what's happening on the daily chart. It's all just different time frames and different perspectives on what you actually want to trade and how long you want to hold trades. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, talking about managing trades. As Renegade traders, we are not only professional traders, we are also professional money managers. We must develop a fixed method to closing part or all of our order volume to develop and maintain consistency. Consistent results come from consistent actions in the market. So if one day you're taking profit at just like a random pip number, and the next day you're holding to a swing high, and the next day you're targeting just a fixed reward ratio, these are all things that can have serious consequences in your trading because you're not maximizing the reward when you actually are presented that in the market. And if you close a trade too early compared to other trades out of emotion, then that can actually have a huge disastrous effect on your trading balance when you actually win a trade. So knowing where to actually partial or take full or close your full volume is extremely important. It's actually just as important as every other aspect of this 5-step Forex course. And yeah, we're going to just kind of elaborate on that today in trade management. So there's several ways to manage your trade, your open trade, and your order volume. Or in other words, there's several ways to take profit. And what is most common in using smart money concepts is, for me at least, is closing a certain percentage of my order at a new low and then leaving what's called a runner on to see if the market continues lower. And so we'll go over that in a little bit. The main concrete ways to actually take profit is close 100% of volume at the next higher low, or close 100% of your volume at the next swing high or swing low on the next highest time frame. So this is actually has a lot to do with swing structure. Close a predetermined amount at either example above. So you can do, 80, 90, 75%, something like that, 95%, 50%, whatever works for you. Or you can also close at a fixed risk to reward ratio. So you can close 90% of your trade at a 1-to-5, for example, or 50% of your trade at a 1-to-4. There's many different ways. And this overview in the next video is going to be showing you the different examples so you can take it and apply it to your actual trade plan and use that going forward. Again, we do go over all of these examples and like a much bigger picture view of these different types of trade management in my full in-depth course that I have. This course is a paid version of what you're watching now. So if you want to learn more in-depth, detailed processes and understanding how this works on a more professional level, then be sure to check the links below this video and find out a little bit more about what we have going on in the course. So let's talk about where to place your take profit. The basic concept we will be covering in this video is closing your order at the next high or low above or below your POI. So the easiest way to find this level is at the top or bottom of the range you are trading. If you are selling the 15-minute, then target the next 15-minute low directly under your point of interest. So here's an example of a sell. We can see we have a supply zone. We, in the last video, talked about how to actually place our entries and stop losses. We can see price sells off from this supply zone, retraces back up, and it would have tapped you in for an open sell order, and your stop loss would have been above here. Price then exits the point of interest and sells off very dramatically, and we can then target this old low down here as our point of take profit. Okay, and there's a few reasons why, which we'll go over here in a couple of slides, but this is where you would be ideally targeting either for 50% partial or some kind of partial like 50, 75, 90%, or closing your entire volume if you don't want to hold on to trades, or if for whatever reason you're targeting risk to certain risk to reward, and that risk to reward falls below or I guess technically above this old low. Like for example, if you target a 1 to 3 and your 1 to 3 is right here, then you would just set your take profit to trigger your partial at this point here. So here's an example for a buy. We have, as you can see, a demand zone down here, the last down move before the up candles or up move that broke structure. We have our box tool drawn on here that's drug all the way out. We can then see the high and low of the POI. So our buy limit would be at the top of this demand zone, stop loss at the bottom of this demand zone. And we can then see price triggers in and it runs to create a new high. Our target could be at this old high here, where we can then target a partial of 50, 75, 80, 90% of your volume, whatever works for you, whatever works for your trade plan. Or if you had fixed R, like we mentioned in the last slide, you can then target your fixed R somewhere in here, whether it's 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, however, you can then use that above, either below or above this high, depending on your expectations and your trade plan. So full transparency, there are some things that I do not include in this free mini series, and I do include them in my paid course. So regarding the topics that we're talking about in today's video with trade entries and management, in the full course, we talk about swing highs and swing lows for targets. We also talk about strong and weak swing highs and lows and using those in combination for your target or take profit. I go very in depth on the fixed risk to reward method of targeting or taking profit. That's actually something that I use in my own trading. And then we also zoom out of this particular topic of take profit. We talk about trade management in general and the psychology behind trade management, how to actually manage a trade once it's open, and some of the pitfalls that you can avoid in your trade management. I also go over a few trade management tools. There is one below the links in this video that's called Magic Keys that I definitely recommend. It will make trade management so much easier for you. So make sure you check that out. There's a link below in the description. It's called, again, Magic Keys, and I have that written in the description with the link. And lastly, we do talk about trade management mindset. So I kind of already touched on this, but the management or the mindset that goes behind managing a trade and how to actually cater it for your own risk appetite. So a lot of these examples, you're going to find me using a 4-hour chart as the example. If you're not a swing trader, then obviously that's not going to work for you. And trading on a lower time frame, like a 5-minute, 15-minute, 1-minute chart, it's going to require a little bit different mindset than someone who's holding it long term. And so we talk a lot about that completely in depth in the paid version of my course. And I just like to give people a awareness that, you know, I'm in a free course. I'm not including all of everything that I know or everything that there is to know I think it's pretty obvious in today's world with YouTube channels and stuff that like there is free content available, but anyone who wants to go above and beyond and invest in their knowledge and in their understanding of something is obviously going to be a lot better off. And it's not saying that you have to do that. It's not saying that this free course isn't enough to get you to a state where you're hitting consistent take profits. It's more so that there is a much deeper understanding to this matrix that you're in of smart money concepts. So like I said, be sure to check out the links in the description and see if that's something that suits you. So in conclusion, a trade management plan and a trade plan in general are the most important parts of being a trader. Knowing where you're actually going to exit a trade is just as important as knowing where to enter it. Once you have a trade open that's running in profit, we have to know how to react. We need to know how we're going to react to money being given to us by the market, and we need to do it consistently. Having a strict set of rules in place for money management is crucial for survival as a trader. This is something that once you learn the different scenarios and ways to manage your wins, you ultimately have to decide what works best for you in your personality type and risk profile. Once again, remember that this content in 5-Step Forex and smart money concepts in general applies to any time frame and any chart. It does not matter what you're trading. It does not matter what time frame you're trading. It literally applies to any time frame, any chart. So if you want to get this content ad-free, I went ahead and created a Patreon group with a structured course that you can get access to. And this structured course actually has the same exact content completely ad-free, as well as a few other bonuses that are included, including my premium chat community and the ability to ask me questions about any of the stuff in the course or smart money in general. And so if it's something you're interested in, there's a link below this video to Patreon. You can help support the free content on the channel and just the channel going forward in general, and get access to, like I said, the structured course with ad-free content and many other bonuses. Also, if you want a copy of my slides for your notes, you can access those at the links below this video for 100% free. There's absolutely no charge. All you have to do is click the links below, enter your email, and I'll automatically send you those within a couple minutes after you entering your email. And you can, print those or add your own notes to them, whatever you want to do. So this wraps up video number 10 in 5-Step Forex, a free smart money concepts trading course. And today we talked about targets. We did the overview and the PowerPoint presentation on targets and take profits, and a little bit of an introduction on trade management. In the next video, we're actually going to walk through and apply these concepts to a live chart. And like I mentioned previously, we are working very closely now to coming up on the conclusion where we're actually going to put all 5 steps into one fluid motion to actually frame a trade on a chart. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. And once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.